Hi, and welcome to my video for calculating income tax for the state of New York. This is going to show you how the tax bracket system works for New York state income tax, just the state, not including New York City or any of the other districts that might be in there. New York is one of those special ones where you do have some different tax rates based on where you're located within the state. But just for the average person living in New York State, this is what it will look like. This is not considered tax advice. This is just for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a CPA or accountant if you have questions. All right, so if you're looking at this resource in front of you, it means you have the calculate net income resource. If you have this colorful tax table, or it might be in black and white for you, that means you are doing the calculate net pay activity. Both of those can be found on my TPT store. Just go to pieeducator.store, but they're both able to be used to calculate income taxes for federal and state levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a salary of $100,000, and not because that's an average salary for anyone or anything like that, it's just a nice round number. It lets us go through a bunch of brackets as well. And then we're going to take a look at the New York State income tax rates. Now, if you don't have the sheet in front of you, all you're going to do is go to Google and just type in New York State tax tables for 2023. And either go to newyork.gov and find it, or go to a site like NerdWallet where they do a good job of keeping their tax information up to date. So New York State has a progressive tax system, which means that they have brackets just like they do at the federal level. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brackets. So New York has one of the higher numbers of income tax brackets. So sorry if you live there, it means you got a little bit more work to do. But you can see compared to Pennsylvania, which has a flat tax rate, just one bracket, it's definitely a much easier calculation to do Pennsylvania than it is New York. But we can do it. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our salary down. And we're going to do a state standard deduction. So looking at my tables again, New York standard deduction for a single person, which is what I'm doing, is $8,700. Now, I do need to add this to my form, so expect to see updates soon, but what also goes in here is a traditional IRA or 401k contribution. So if you are making a contribution to a tax deferred account, so traditional IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, you are able to subtract it from your state income tax in some states, most states, I would say. Exceptions are probably fewer than states that do allow it. In some cases, contributions to a 529 plan, so a college savings plan, might also be tax deductible. You just need to check with your state and see. But you would subtract that out here before doing your taxable income so that you're just paying taxes on what is left. For the purpose of this video, we're not going to do any traditional deductions, but if you do have them, that's where they would go. All right, so we got 100,000 minus 8,700, so that's going to be 91,300 is going to be our state taxable income. So we're going to take that 91,300, that's going to come down here to our taxable income box for the first bracket. Now, how it's going to work, every bracket holds a certain amount of money. So in the case of the first one, it holds your $0 to $8,500. So if you subtracted the two numbers, you would get how much the bracket holds. So in that case, 8,500. The amount of taxable income we have is greater than this, so we are going to fill up this bracket. The max can hold is 8,500. We have more than that, so we fill it up, and the tax rate is 4%. So you're going to multiply by 0.04. Divide the percentage by 100, that's the decimal. So I have 8,500 times 0.04, and I get $340 for the first bracket. Then we've taxed this 8,500. That comes down because we don't want to tax it again, so we subtract it from our taxable income. So I have 91,300 minus 8,500, 82,800 is what's left, 82,800. Second bracket holds from 11,700 down to the 8,500 first dollar. So really what we're saying is it holds up to 11,700. So 11,700 but you've already taxed 8,500. So it's the difference of those two. So we're going to take the two numbers at the end and we're going to subtract them. And the difference of the two of them is going to be how big the bracket is. So this one holds 3,200. New York has some kind of like odd numbers going on. I don't know why they picked the ones they did, but they're not like nice big round numbers. All right, so 82,800 is still much bigger than that. So 3,200 goes in. The rate for this one is 4.5%, so 0.045. So 3,200 times 0.045, we get $144. 3,200 has been taxed. So 82800 minus 3,200. We now have 79,600 that still needs to be taxed. The next bracket is quite small again. So we have 13,900 minus 11,700. That will be 2,200. And still have way more than that. So 2,200 in. And this one is at 5.25%. So 0.0525 is your rate. And we get $115.50. And 2,200 has now been taxed, so subtract that out. So let's see, we got 79,600 minus 2,200, 77,400. The fourth bracket, so we're 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're at the 5.9% one, 21,400 minus 13,900, so 7,500 going in here. So these are all kind of small brackets, like they're not holding a ton of money, but you know, it's definitely allowing people in the lower income jobs or situations to pay less in taxes, and then it just kind of progresses it up. 77,000, way higher than 7,500, so we're going to put the full 7,500 in. And the rate for this one is 5.9, so 0.059. $442.50. We've taxed 7,500. So let's subtract that out. We get 69,900. All right, and the fifth bracket. So now this one looks like a much bigger one. We go from 80,650 and we take away the 21,400 that we have already taxed. So 80,650 minus 21,400. So 59,250. So yeah, definitely way bigger than the previous bracket of 7,005. Now we still have more money than that, so we are going to fill this one up completely. And the rate for this one is 5.97%. Again, random percentage, so 0.0597. So I have 59,250 times 0.0597. And we've got a decimal that has 3 digits. So what happens in this case is you're going to round to the nearest whole cent. So the 5 will round this up to a 23 cents. So 3,537.23. 59,250 has been taxed. So we got 69900 minus 59,250. So we have 10,650 left to tax. And moving down a bracket again, huge bracket. So we have 215,400 minus the 80,650 that we've already taxed. This one holds 134,750. We have way less than that. So we only have 10,650. That means the full amount that's left is going to go into the bracket where we are going to tax it. So we weren't able to fill this one up. It means that this person who makes $100,000 is in the 6th income bracket or the 6.33% income bracket. So 0.0633 is our multiplier. 10,650 times 0.633, and we get 674. And 145 again rounds, so we would get 0.15 cents. All right, that means that we are done. There's nothing left, so we have 0 left. What we do now is we add up all of our tax boxes. So 340 plus 144 plus 115.5 plus 442.50 plus 3537 and 23 cents plus 674.15. And we get 5253.38. 5253.38. Now, I'm not sure exactly what New York State would do because I know both of these had a ½ cent that we rounded up. So technically, this should be a 7, like 0.37. But I don't know when they round or at what point. So you might see 0.37 as a good answer as well. But I would accept either of those if I were the teacher grading this. So let your teacher know that if you're watching. All right. Thank you for doing this one with me. So this is the income taxes for New York State. So not New York City, just New York State. If you are in New York City, you would have, I think, a different set of tax rates to go with that. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below in this video. You can find the link to this resource and the Calculate Net Income resource in the description of the video, or head over to phyeducator.store. Thanks so much for being here.